Hello and welcome. I'm Father John Roberts. It's good for you to join me on this occasion where we read from the Gospel according to St. Luke, the 13th chapter, 31st to the 35th verses. This is the story where Jesus is being confronted by particular leaders in his community, trying to authenticate who he is, questioning him, trying to back him into a corner. And they bring out the fact that King Herod lurks somewhere in the backdrop. So let's hear what Jesus has to say. Some Pharisees came and said to Jesus, "Get away from here, for Herod wants to kill you." He said to them, "Go and tell that fox for me. Listen, I'm casting out demons and performing cures today and tomorrow, and on the third day I finish my work. Yet today, tomorrow, and the next day I must be on my way, because it is impossible for a prophet to be killed outside of Jerusalem. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to it. How often have I desired to gather your children together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, and you were not willing. See, your house is left to you. And I tell you, you will not see me until the time comes when you say, 'Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord.'" The Gospel of the Lord. This is so relative to today, when we are so focused on our own national elections that's going to be coming in November. We see here that there is a politician, very corrupt, who his immortality, he's expressed that he will not die, that he will be in rule over Jerusalem until the end of time. That was the bold acclamation that King Herod made. He, like his father, did everything he could to stamp out anyone that hinted the notion of an uprising and revolution, and Jesus fit into that category. The Pharisees probably had two different approaches to silencing Jesus. In fear, they were trying to get rid of him by saying, "King Herod is after you and he's going to kill you if you keep this up. You need to leave." And secondly, in fear of their own leadership, because many people were asking them, "Who is this Jesus who is healing? Who is this Jesus who is teaching with authority, who didn't come up through the ranks like you did? His ordained ministry, is it valid? His not being a politician, coming from a different background, is it valid?" Jesus, being confronted by this, he tells them that he's not afraid of Herod. He tells them, "You go tell that fox, I am casting out demons and performing cures today, tomorrow, and the third day," meaning he's not going to stop what he's doing until his final time has come, when the people will announce, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." Now, in just a few weeks, that's going to be heralded as we process on Palm Sunday. People laying down branches when Jesus comes in, and we'll reenact this re-entry point for the one who came up from humble origins, not like the Pharisees, the politicians of his day. And he surprised the entire world on that day and in the days to come. The third day, his work would stop. The third day, he would rise again. Have you noticed here his lament? "Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets." He's basically bringing out a historical fact that all those who have had the courage, like him, to raise their voice have been killed. No doubt he's referring to his good friend, the one who baptized him. No doubt he is referring to all of the prophets that came of old, who were stoned, who were thrown out, who were condemned. By who? The established leaders, those that had grown up through the ranks. We have to be careful about the establishment, because the establishment caters to those that want to keep and retain their positions of prominence at all cost. And Herod was the classic example of someone who would do anything. He would kill anybody who got in his way. Jesus is not hindered by this. It's like our big cities today. Why is it that crime is so prevalent? Is it because of sheer population, that there's just so many people? Or is it because it's a breeding ground for something of great corruption, where courageous people are quieted in unruly ways and violent ways? Maybe the same thing that was going on in Jesus' day is the same thing that's going on today and perhaps for tomorrow. I believe as Christians we are called to be of courage, to listen to God, and God continues to lament, my dearly beloved, go forth, do what I call you to do. Cast out demons in my name, meaning lay hands on people, pray for them who are possessed by the worries and the preoccupations. I believe that right now, especially as we are sizing up, for example, the people that will be, one of the people that will come out to be our president, we're wondering, is this a person that's going to be like Herod? Or is it going to be someone like Jesus? If it's like Jesus, they could be very short-lived, but they'll have an amazing effect. If they're like Herod, well, it's just the same old corruption. I don't think that God has called us into a life of blessed security, but He has called us into blessed assurance, knowing that we will be tempted very much like Jesus was, and praying out, oh, my Lord, why are these things happening? Why are they happening, and how much longer will they go on? When we call upon the Lord, we find that He prepares us and He does protect us from the foxes that lurk in the wild, who try their very best to destroy us, to quiet us, to silence our voices. Have the courage that Jesus had. Have the courage that the prophets had. Stand firm in your belief and know that there will be a day where we call upon Him and we glorify Him by saying, blessed is He who comes in the name of the Lord. Today, consider our national context, and what do you think about this relationship of the church and its role in the larger community, where there are many foxes that lie wait in the patches and the jungles of our occupations and our places of life and living? How does this relate today to the time in which Jesus was providing His miraculous deeds to the world? I look forward to hearing your responses. And as always, go forth in the name of Christ.